Hello guys and welcome for another episode of PvP Basics series in which we're gonna talk about the kiting. This is episode 6 from the series in which we should get better into PvP, but like I said every single time, please give me your feedback if the series are helpful enough and if the tips and tricks are clear enough for you to use them. Without further ado, let's jump into the episode. It will be a short one. I just prepared some clips in which I want to explain few of the things that we need to take in consideration while playing a range mage. As we all know, all range weapons are insanely good at damage, and of course the fire staff, bow, musket can prove that straight away. However, all those weapons are struggling when it comes to close combat, and of course this is due to the fact that they are lacking a lot of resources, and by resources I mean a lot of crowd control and staggers, which all of the melee users usually have. So let's jump into the first clip in which I am playing an arena, and as you can see we are already down a player because our third teammate disconnected. In this clip we are both mages. My teammate is playing with the Firestaff Blunderbuss and I'm playing with Firestaff Ice. The enemies already know that because it's the third round of the arena match and they are going extremely aggressive. Their composition is a Great Axe Warhammer player, which I believe is a bruiser spec. They have one heavy sword and shield with greatsword and another mage who is playing Firestaff Blunderbuss. So as you can see straight from the beginning, they are going extremely aggressive. I'm almost dead here, so I need to leave the scene because otherwise I would just give my life for free. So I have to jump down. And from here on, their heavy sword and shield greatsword player decides to chase me and to take me down. So this is exactly the ideal situation where I can prove to you that you need really good kiting in order to survive those moments. Because if this guy is alone and there is no support from his teammate, for example their DPS player, he would have to catch me in a melee close combat and he would need to clear that distance of around 5 meters that we currently have. So from here on I have 25 stamina and he just dropped down. As I can see, he also have a little bit more than 50% stamina, which means that he can dodge, maybe even go to grey bar, just so he can use a crowd control or a stagger to me, and basically from there on I might be even going dead because I also don't have my entomb. So let's see how it goes and let's see why I'm taking those decisions. So I even decide to go for a grey bar just so I can use my burnout, so I can get distance, and of course to use all my consumables so I can regen a lot of my HP back, and then I can start the fight again from the beginning. As we can see as well, he is continuously pushing towards me. He's not scared at all because of course he's heavy, so I cannot really trade him in a one full combat. Here he manages to catch me off, and this of course is one of the things that you should dodge, but in this case, as I said earlier, there is no follow-up. He's the only person who is here, and this stun of 3 seconds will be broken by him now, but there is no follow-up on other types of damage because the other two players which are there are currently chasing my other teammate who is doing the exactly same thing. The main goal here for both of us is just to kite around as much as we can, delay and prolong the fight, so we can do a little bit of cheap damage to every single one of their members, and then when we see a potential we can burst down either one or more of them, and then we can maybe take the win. So let's see how it plays out from here. He stuns me, he even vines me, so I'm pretty pretty bad spot because as you can see also, if I go a little bit back, you would see all those debuffs here. So this is exactly what I'm talking about when you are trying to trade with a melee. You would constantly see all those debuffs popping up down here because at the moment I have weaken, I have slow, I have rend, and on top of this he has double if not triple the amount of armor that I have. So there is no reason to try and trade with such person in that range. From here on my play would be, and as I do it, I use my entomb to cleanse everything that I have as a debuff, and again try to get away as he already used some of his abilities. So from here on I will just jump away, try to run away, regen a little bit of HP back, and again, as you can see, he's again on me. Even without the jump, it's not that hard to get on a ranged person, because as soon as you want to do something as a spell, or let's say you want to place a pylon, like in this case, it takes time. This is animations, and those animations are always time, so the melee can always catch up to you. So from here on, again, as you can see, another weaken, another slow. So it's really hard to trade with those people. And from here on, I again at least try to get away with the burnout, and thank God he still don't have his stun out of cooldown, and I managed to get some distance so I can do some cheap damage. There we go. Now this time he has the jump, he closes out, but he doesn't have other crowd controls. And here, as you can see, I was expecting, let me just go a little bit back so I can show you what I mean. Usually the sword and shields, when they approach you like this with the jump, the follow-up is two different ways. The first one is straight stun after the jump, but the better players know that most of the times the player who is affected by the jump will instantly dodge backwards. And that's why they are not opting for the stun, but instead they are using shield rush. Why shield rush, you would say? Well, because the slows are now affecting the dodge distance, which means that if he hits me with the jump and I get slowed because the jump affects slow, let me actually go extremely slow here so I can show you. So if I go like this and he hits me, as you can see, there is a slow popping up here. So for the next 3 seconds I have extremely strong slow, and this you can tell by the many arrows on the right side of the debuff or the buff. This is the way to know if the buff or the debuff is strong. So at this case I have extremely strong slow on me, and if I decide to dodge backwards, it would not be a full distance light dodge. So this means that I will not end up here, I would most likely end up here. Which means that if he uses a shield rush, the shield rush distance will hit me again. And it will apply not only slow this time, but it will apply weaken. And from there on, I'm not only weakened and slowed twice, but then I also don't have enough stamina to kite more than that. If I dodge maybe 1 or 2 times, I would be already gray bar, and then for him it's way easier to apply his stun. But of course this person don't have his stun on cooldown, like I said, and it's just the jump, it's just a catch up. So from here my decision is, and this is something really crucial as well, when you play Ice Gauntlet, the blunderbuss cannot do that. I'm currently blocking. I'm blocking and I'm trading a little bit of my mana just so I can block his basic attacks, which will not deal that much damage, but at the same time it will deal enough to put me even further down on my HP bar, which is already 50%. So from here I'm blocking. I see him that he's going on the left side to try and approach to hit me from the side or from the back, and I then instantly jump from there and I try to get some distance on the other direction. And now here, what is the goal for me is to apply as fast as possible a wall of ice. So when he follows up, because I already see him coming up to me, when he follows up he would be at least slow and rooted for a brief second, in which I would be able to either do some damage, either get some more distance, and so on. So let's go back to the normal speed now, and let's see how this plays out. So I put the slow barrier, and then he instantly catches it, and therefore he's trying to stun me here, which this distance is a normal distance for a stun. It's too much on a first glance, but actually this is a distance where you would be hit by the stun if it's without the ice. But just due to the ice, I'm currently not taking the stun. And as you can see now, he misses his stun. He just used his jump up there, so he doesn't have everything. He have to change on a greatsword just so he can spin towards me, but we can just trade damage here and I would basically win it. From here on, it's basically A 2v2 in which we are extremely low HP with both my teammate, but as I said, if we kite well enough, we should be able to win the round. They are also left with 2 players, unfortunately it's not showing correct on the UI, but they are left with the bruiser and the fire mage on the other side as well. So let's see how this plays out. The fire mage tries to come, but I'm in a entomb, so he would not be able to hit me. Meanwhile, I can see that their bruiser is way far away and my teammate already came down here by the stairs. So from here on, my point of view is just to survive long enough so I can get my HP back. As you can see, I'm extremely low on HP. I have 2,300 HP. I don't have my health potion. I only have regen potion and my food. But if I use any of them, I would get locked in a small animation, and this means that if the enemy tries to hit me with a fireball, for example, I would not be able to react and dodge it, so I would most likely die. Also, something really important, especially in arenas and OPRs, is to always take those different structures in play as well, so you can kite around them. This is the best tool to kite people around, because this is giving you a protection not only from ranged players but also from melee players that are trying to approach you. You can always hide behind those, play around them, and so on. This is extremely valuable thing. Of course, in wars it's a bit different, because most of the times it's an open field, especially outside of the fort, but when you get inside the fort you can still use those, and I will show you in a clip later on. So here, as I said, I'm trying to just survive. As you can see, he even managed to reap me, but unfortunately he didn't finish his second hit, and now I'm still running around. And at this point, now when I already used my potion and I got 5000 HP back, I'm now looking at 60% HP, my teammate is also around the same, and then we can turn around and make the fight happen. Their range DPS is extremely low, maybe around 20%, while their bruiser is here maybe at full HP because we cannot see it, but this current situation gives us the room to attack this person because we are both ranged, while he is melee and he would not be able to do anything about it, since all of his crowd control abilities are extremely slow compared to, for example, sword and shield. So from here on I'm going extremely hard on the other mage. We of course got juked, it happens as well, and then here on the stairs we managed to catch him and he got killed. And now it's extremely easy. We are 2 range players, almost at full HP already, as you can see here. They have only 1 bruiser left who also missed his ability here, and basically the round is just over. Unfortunately for us, we didn't win the game. It was a bit hard to win 2 against 3, but this round was a really good example how you can do it and how you can make it work, as long as you do it properly and of course you don't give up. The next clip I want to share with you guys is from an OPR game, and as you know, I play quite a lot of OPR games, so there's many different situations in which I'm falling into. I'm trying different things almost every time just so I can know the outcome of it, and of course by this I'm trying to improve my skill and of course reaction times as much as I can. In this one, if we look closely, we're gonna see one person from our team standing down, and we have few others that are standing on the ramps. I'm one of them, and of course this guy here is a healer who was already supporting the point with some heals. However, we see that 2 of their melees are now approaching this healer, and they would most likely aim to kill him or at least push him away from this position, so he would be not that safe if he jumps down there. Now from this position here that I'm standing, you have 2 different choices that you can make. The first one is to remain on this line and just apply damage towards those people there. Of course this will be the easiest way to do it and of course the safest, but unfortunately if I decide to do that, this healer would be still in trouble and he would have to cast a sacred ground on him, which will mean that all of the players that will be fighting down there, they would not have the sacred, which is the strongest heal in the game. The other option that I have is, due to the fact that I have burnout, I can maybe go into those two players and try to apply a little bit of aggressive movement towards them. A little bit of aggression might cause them to drop the aggro from the healer, and of course to split their attention or maybe even go both on me. So then I would take the aggro from the healer on myself. Of course, if you go for this option, you have to be sure that you are not dying, because if those two melees apply crowd controls one after another, they would definitely kill you even though they are in heavy gear. So let's see how this plays out. As we can see, my healer decides to straight up jump down and not even bother with those two guys. And like I said, I'm going deep with my burnout, so I will want to have their aggro on me instead of them going down and still chasing the healer. So from here on, I'm already on the other side of the fight. I was originally up there, now I'm up here, and I see that this guy already jumps with his skewer with the spear. Now, as we said, those guys were in heavy, and this particular person was playing sword and shield with spear. As we know, the build for a sword and shield and spear in heavy is with definitely bleeding sweep, so therefore the next ability that I'm expecting him to do towards me is a bleeding sweep with a 90% angle in front of him. That's why if we play the clip, we would see that I instantly dodge away from it, as I already was expecting that, and as you can see, the bleeding sweep is missing completely. Now I'm lucky here because this guy here, the other melee, is not applying or doesn't try to apply a second crowd control that would basically follow up and hit me, but instead he decides to opt for a, I think it was called Mighty Gravel. So this ability does good damage, but not staggering, not using any CC. So therefore I'm able to do a second dodge, going down to 20 stamina, and of course from there on just using a net shot so I can get even more distance. And as you can see now, they are already back there, they are not even visible, and I'm free to do whatever. So I can go up the stairs, regenerate some of my HP with the potions and the food that I have, and try to approach the fight from a different angle. So I will go up, they are trying to reap me, of course, like few hits, not a big issue. And now if we look at the point, we see that maybe 95 or even 98% of the point is ticked by this small margin here that we have on the side. But I also see that there is 3 heavy sword and shield players, while there is nobody from our team. I have one person who is on the ramps, I have one person who is outside, but that's about it. So now the question here is, do I still enter the point and try to reach the stairs on the right side, or just go back and leave it? Well, I decide to go in for some reason, and therefore I have to continue kite, because otherwise I would definitely get killed. The person from upstairs who was with the spear already has his jump with the sword ready, off cooldown, and he decides to approach me. And of course the others turn their attention towards me as well, as I'm the only person who is inside the point, and they are now on my head. From here on, it's a really tough scenario for me to escape. The only heal that I have is this beacon, if you see it glowing around me. And I have 2 escape abilities. One is the burnout, not really visible here, but I have burnout and net shot. But unfortunately, in order to cast burnout, I need to have at least half to 1 second free time without being staggered or CC'd. Otherwise, I would get interrupted. So from here on, I will just play it on slow-mo so you can see the idea and everything behind it. The first thing to do is to flick with your mouse so you are looking towards the clump, and in this way you would be able to use your net shot, and while you use net shot you would blast yourself backwards. If I was looking towards the door and I used net shot, I would originally move backwards into the clump. So therefore I decided to just look towards the clump, use the net shot so I can blast myself backwards, gain this free distance here, and then now I will use my burnout trying to drift around the door and get outside in the safe spot. However, this is easier than said and done, because if you use your burnout and someone hits you here with a stun or some kind of CC or stagger, you would basically end up your burnout straight away. So let's see how this plays out. At least I'm full HP, that's the good part. But here I'm already seeing that I'm getting hit, and as you saw as well, my burnout ended up here, which is half the way distance. I would usually end up here outside, but yeah, they staggered me, so now I need to still somehow get away. I'm also gray barred due to the fact that I had to dodge earlier, but at least they didn't follow up with more CC, so I managed to get away safely outside. And from here on is again their decision making. Most of them decide to just return back to the point, defend the point, do whatever they like, but one guy comes out to chase me, and of course he would try to apply pressure or to even kill me. If this guy is alone, there is no way that he will kill me because he is heavy gear, so there is nothing that can happen, but let's see how this plays out. So the guy is using Ice Gauntlet. He awaits his teammate, which is using Spear, and this is a light user, so most likely he has a good damage. And now they are both trying to chase me. In those scenarios, guys, it's always best to try and get as further as possible for just playing the fight 1v2. If you stay close to middle, there is really high chance that somebody from inside or somebody else will just approach the fight and just join in. If you get them away, however, you will definitely fight just the two of them, so it would be way easier and manageable to fight. So here I'm already safe and brave enough to start the fight. I have all my cooldowns from the fire staff. I have almost all my potions and consumables. I don't have all my cooldowns from the blunderbuss, but it's still fine because I have 5 seconds for my grenades and I have my shrapnel blast ready. So from here on I'm starting a burnout, and I will charge up towards the light user, not the heavy. My priority is this guy. I want to kill this guy. I don't care about the heavy. So let's see how this goes out. I'm going with the burnout. I'm trying to kite them back, and here he makes one of the biggest mistakes. Unfortunately, I'm still doing those mistakes as well. He goes on a gray bar. Now this means that every hit that I do on him, he would not be able to dodge. Like whatever I do, he would never be able to dodge. And from here on, my aim is also to hit him with as many things as possible. So the first thing that hits is the heavy attack, then the pillar, and now I'm even going into them, and I will tell you why. I'm going into them because my grenades are now ready, as well as the shrapnel blast. If I come here, which is a bit contradicting what I'm trying to say with the video of kiting, if I go into them and I can apply my nades plus shrapnel blast before I get crowd controlled, this person, the light person, will die. I will take a lot of damage, maybe, and I might get even crowd controlled, but this person doesn't have stamina. So this means that if he hits me or he gets locked in a animation, let's say from perforate or sweep, he would still take the damage from the nades, and I would end up with a kill. So he cannot trade you. If he has stamina, then it's a completely different story because he can dodge your nades and still apply damage to you. But now he doesn't have any stamina, so it's 100% guaranteed that the nades will hit. So I'm going into them straight up nades. The fastest thing I can do is nades and insta shrapnel blast, so I use before they even stun me. And then we can see the HP. He's almost dead. Like this is after potion as well, so he's almost dead, and he already used his potion as well. The next thing I will try to do as well is get away again with an edge shot, which I managed to apply on him, and he's one hit away from dead. I don't even need to dodge or kite this heavy person anymore, because he definitely don't have the damage to kill me, as I'm already close to full HP. The best he can do is to apply 1 or 2 stuns on me, but that's about it. My next goal would be just to wait for my burnout and to approach this person so I can finish him off. So let's see how this plays out. This guy stuns me. Actually, the best play for them here is just to leave me in the stun status, because I have 2 or 3 seconds in which I cannot do anything, and this guy would basically join his teammates on middle. Unfortunately, they don't realize that, and they continue trying to put some damage on me, which breaks the stun, and then from here on I'm just avoiding him, going with the burnout, and just finish off the kill. Now this guy, of course, as I said, he's a tank, he cannot do anything about it, so at the end he just have to regroup with his teammates on middle. The next clip that I want to share with you guys is again from OPR game. Here we have 3 separate clips. The first one is again against Sword and Shield and a Spear guy. As I said, Sword and Shield with Spear and Greatsword is definitely one of the most annoying combinations in heavy specifically. As a light user or light mage, this is definitely one of your nightmares. There is also a lot of other assassins that are playing with Hatchet Greatsword, which is really strong as well, but at least with them you can trade a little bit of damage, while here with the heavy guys you cannot even trade. So let's see about this clip, what is the interesting and important stuff. As you can see, they are trying to destroy our back gate on the star outpost. I'm almost killing this guy. Unfortunately my aim is kind of trash, so there I missed the kill on this mage, and now I'm looking into 1v3 in which I'm already grey barred and I'm at 7000 HP. This is a horrible situation to be in. I do a lot of mistakes here as well, and I will point them out. The first one is of course by going grey bar, but then the second, it's not really visible, but I will share it with you for all the blunderbuss users. At least I'm using the net shot on time so I can gain the distance. But here guys, if you see, I don't have my 2 bullets in the blunderbuss. This means that if I stay on blunderbuss, the animation of reloading will start every time, and therefore I would lose movement speed. If I change straight away to fire staff, I would gain my normal movement speed straight away, but unfortunately I didn't do that at this certain time, and as you can see I'm walking a little bit slow. I still didn't reload. I now just reload because I had to use potion, and this is animation time which prevents the blunderbuss to reload. That's why it's really important to switch your weapons, and here I'm really lucky because the bleeding sweep doesn't hit me. I'm literally 1 centimeter away from the max range of it, so I'm not getting affected. And from here on I already gained the distance, I already recovered some of my HP, and now it's about 1v1. I know that this guy is playing Sword and Shield with Spear, and I know what I should expect from him as abilities, right? So here on, my goal is to always keep some kind of distance, so even a little bit bigger than this one, so you can see the different abilities that he gonna use, and you would have a little bit of time to react as well. So from here on, he would basically come close. As soon as he come close, I need to dodge. In this case, it's a cyclone, but it could be a sweep, it could be perforate, it could be many things. So I dodge the cyclone, and straight up, if I don't have enough stamina for another dodge on another direction, you need to use the net shot. This is basically giving you the free distance. Now from here on, I again have my distance, and now as I know that he changed to Sword and Shield because it's quite visible, I am expecting the jump. I'm expecting the jump to happen. It's quite visible that he is aiming to do that, and now he would do a really nice play as well. He uses the jump, and now I have my time to react to it. Of course, if you have high ping, might not happen, but here I'm instantly dodging away from his jump, which definitely gives me the ability to kite him even further. However, he plays really nice, as I said, because he insta-casts vines. He managed to react on my dodge, and right after his jump, he didn't waste any time by chasing me with shield rush or shield bash or his spear or whatever. He instantly casts root with the vines, so everything around him, basically one dodge distance, will be rooted. And as you can see, I'm right on the edge, but I still get the root effect. Now here on, as you can see, he uses the hit from the whirling blade, I believe it's called, but now he changes back to spear. And let me just go just a little bit back and go on the slow-mo, because from here on it's basically a game of reaction times, guys. He changes to spear, which I see, and that's why I dodge the knockdown. I don't know if you saw it, but he made like the knockdown and then I dodge it. So basically I would not get the extra damage from the sweep. If you don't know, the spear has a passive in which he does 25% damage, more damage, to targets that are knocked down, which technically means that here I still got some kind of damage, but I would be definitely either close to death or even dead by just getting knocked down. So again, let's look at it on a slow-mo. He jumps, he uses vines. It's actually a pretty nice move because the vines are casted even still in the air. Now here he spins, and here I see that he pulls out the spear. I don't know if it's visible for you as well, but he pulls out the spear. I managed to notice that now he starts the bleeding sweep. I dodge it away, and here I still get hit, but the hit is like for this amount, which might be around, I don't know, 1.5k or something like this. While if I get knocked down, it would be up to here most likely. And yeah, this was what I wanted to share with you guys from this one. It's really nice play from both of us. Yeah, like I said, I got lucky in the very beginning, so I managed to kill him. Now I will share with you two other clips in which greed basically kills you. So the first one, I see that a friend, I mean not a friend, but like a teammate, is fighting those range players here. So there are 3 balls shooting at a person, and I'm just trying to kite them. As I said, I make a lot of mistakes, and of course I'm trying to improve. The first and the most noticeable one is going gray bar. This is something that everyone should try to improve on. This is definitely one of the most important things. So here on, I'm kiting. I'm actually winning the fight 1v3 due to the fact that I'm using the tree as a cover. And here I almost got killed. This guy doesn't even notice me at first, but then he finishes the door. And now on this position, as you can see, I'm half HP, but I'm just taking a quick look to see if the door is ready and if this guy will actually respond to my entrance, if he's gonna shoot at me or do something about it. And I see him not on the door anymore because it's finished, so I'm expecting a hit from him to come in the next second, and therefore I instantly dodge the spell that he uses. So therefore I can start trading with him. I think that this guy doesn't have any fire protection, because there is no way I'm gonna hit you for like this much if you have some kind of fire protection. 2 crits and he's basically out. And the most important now in this clip is that I'm surrounded by enemies. If you saw, there are those 2 guys here, but at the same time, if I go just a little bit back, you would see that there is one guy there, one guy which is low HP there, and I believe that there are 2 or 3 guys up there fighting, but I'm not really sure because I don't remember. The best thing here to do is just, you know, burn out here, maybe kill this guy, and go into mines and recover, right? Like go recover HP, wait for your teammates. You already have the 2 bases. You don't need to do magic tricks, right? But unfortunately, my dumb ass brain doesn't think the same while playing. So here I want to make even more plays. I just killed this guy with 3 hits. So let's be brave. Let's kill more. And as you can see, one guy just entered, but I'm aiming at those 2 ball players which will arrive here in a second or 2. I already have my nades and I want to do big plays, right? So I will put my nades down there and I will be waiting for those guys to come. And as you can see, they came. I did quite a lot of damage to one of them. So they are almost dead. But what happens next is a big shockers, right? Oh, you got pulled. Oh, it's a sword and shield. And you don't have enough stamina to kite back. And you are dead. So that's why, guys, it's really important to realize when you have to put the limit, right? Like when you put the line, that's the best part. Let's look at another example. I'm in the backside of middle. I'm doing some cheap damage. They don't really see me. Again, really huge mistake. gray bar for basically no reason, but at least I managed to react on the jump of this guy because I at least saw him on time and I managed to use my my net shot. Let me go on a slow-mo so you can see it as well. So here I'm doing some damage. I see a guy coming, and then at this certain moment I basically see this guy here. At first I thought that he's using a sword and shield, but it doesn't really matter if it's a sword and shield or anything, because from here on with almost every weapon you can jump down and basically hit me and stagger me. If he staggers me here, I'm most likely dead due to the fact that this guy Mega Killer, or whatever is his name, would approach me super easily and also apply some either CC, either big damage. So from here I'm using a net shot and I'm managing to get away. Yeah, actually he's using sword and shield. And now why it's important to not gray bar? Because if I was not gray barred here, I would definitely be able to just run away. This guy is in heavy. He don't have any more gap closers apart from his jump, and I can simply just get away for free. However, due to the fact that I'm gray barred, I'm slowed, and he manages to catch up on me with his spear. Fortunately enough, he goes for perforate instead of knockdown, which is a bit of a strange choice, but this basically gives me the free pass to just leave and of course start kiting again. One other thing to note is whenever you get hit by 3 stacks of perforate, don't try to trade at this certain time. It's not only that you have rent, but you also have weaken, which is now already expiring, but you have 3 stacks of weaken and your damage is not even close to be worth trading. So now, as I said, I managed to get some distance, and here I'm already trying to kite out, and as you can see, it's going pretty well. They have a spear guy and they have a range guy. However, the spear guy already misses his javelin toss, and basically from here on my aim would be like the previous video where I aimed for the range guy and basically I will try to kill him. So it's getting even better because the melee guy decides to leave the scene. He's going to middle to help his teammates, while his mage is basically half HP. And for me this is extremely easy because he would lose even his last stamina. I believe it's here. Yeah, there we go. So he double dodges for basically no reason, same like me. And now he is in a state where he don't have stamina. I have my burnout and I have my fireball. Those are 2 abilities that you're gonna hit 100 out of 100 if a person don't have stamina. There is no way that you're gonna miss on those abilities. So I'm gonna hit him with a fireball straight up with burnout and then he's dead. Then another guy comes in, which is a bow user, and I'm safely staying here because I'm almost at full HP. I have my heart rune ready. My cooldowns on the fire staff just went off, but they are low cooldowns, so I can regenerate them quite fast. I have my nades as well, and I have my net shot in 1 second. So basically I can pick up on this fight, and maybe if I get lucky to dodge few abilities, I might be even killing this guy. I force him to dodge, and of course at this certain time when he dodges and my abilities are almost ready, I see that 2 other players are approaching the fight as well. The guy with the great axe is even charging at me, so I need to start running again. From here on I basically start running, start eating food and recover, but one thing here again is the greed. At this certain position, when I'm here and this guy is here, he don't have charge, he used his burnout as well. There is no way for him to catch me anymore. His other 2 teammates are back there behind the wall and they are not able to apply anything. From here on you can safely burn out in this direction and just leave. It's 1v3, you don't need to do miracles, right? But again, my brain is telling me something else. I'm going deep with my burnout, going back into them and trying to, to kill some people, to make some plays, let's say. And here is again a wrong timing from my side, as I'm trying to kite on this direction and I'm trying to time the detonate so I don't get damaged. But unfortunately I do it a bit earlier. Let me just go a little bit back. and I will play it on a slow-mo. And it's not only that I didn't time it well, but I also like went gray bar and get the damage at the same time, which is double worse. So here I dodge because I'm expecting the explosion, but unfortunately it happens right after the dodge. And then when I saw it almost at the end of my dodge animation that it's not exploding, I decided to double dodge just so I can avoid the damage, but I still didn't avoid it. And now I'm in a gray bar status, and basically everything that this guy uses will be extremely easy to hit me because I cannot dodge anymore. The only thing that I have is the net shot, but yeah, it's not enough. Here I'm trying still to do some kind of play, because instead of going even further back and being exposed to the archer player that was there, I'm trying to come behind the tree, as I have my fireball, I have my pillar, I have my nades that are coming soon, and I have my rune. If I manage to do everything as soon as possible on this guy and I hit everything, there is a high chance that I might kill him. However, he is playing with execute, something that, yeah, basically hits you if you are stunned or without stamina, and then he is able to just finish me off before I use everything. If I manage to use everything, he would definitely die, but unfortunately, I just didn't have the time. Last but not least, a clip from a war which was played not long ago, in which I'm also playing with a little bit of different build. I'm playing with Meteor Shower instead of Burnout, so this even lowers the chances of you getting extra distance on melees that are chasing you. So let's take a look and see how it goes out. As you can see at this current state, there is quite a lot of pressure on the point, there is a lot of reds, and the point is close to 75% ticked. So this is really like dangerous situation for the defenders. You need to apply some damage so you can get some kills, and as you can see there are a lot of low HP targets, but of course at the same time there are some people that are from the enemies that are trying to go around the point and look for value, and they would basically go and search healers, DPSs and stuff like this where they can basically kill. So as you can see, I'm getting straight away targeted by this spear guy, who is also, I believe, using sword and shield. And now from here on, as I said even earlier, you have 3 stacks of weaken, 3 stacks of rend. You are extremely vulnerable, and basically it's a really tough position to be in. Now, how I would approach it, I would just try to get some distance, so I can be at least safe from his basic attacks. But like I said, sword and shield just changes to sword and straight up jumps on you. So basically the pressure is still on, and your dodge and net shot are just not enough. So from here on, again, he's on me, I'm trying to get away, and of course getting to the stairs, which is completely different position. Basically I came from bottom right up to here, which is considered to be top right, so basically I lose track of him. Now the next thing to do is you need to start applying damage to the point again, but then you have another spear player who is playing on this side, and now basically the same thing goes again. I need to, from here, I need to reposition, because again I have, due to the 3 perforate, I have 3 stacks of rend, 3 stacks of weaken. And again, we start running, we try to reposition, and we try to get, you know, safe. I see a sacred, which I kind of want to use, so I don't need to pot. While potting, you cannot do damage, and at this certain stage, like I said, it's really important to do damage. But unfortunately, as soon as I step on the sacred, there is a great sword player who is coming from our back, and now I'm a target for not only 1, but actually 2 players. And now it's even getting worse, right? But also what's getting worse is this thingy here, which we see, it's ice, but we cannot tell if it's friendly or enemy's ice. And this is the gambles that you have to take sometimes, because if this ice is friendly, I would get 20% movement speed while passing through it. If it's not friendly, I would get not only rooted and slowed, but I would also get rended. So in this one, I think I passed, and it was a nice one because it was ours, but unfortunately on the second, it turns out red as soon as I step on it. And thank God at least that the 2 melees left me, and now I'm trying to get another safe position in which I will be able to cast some abilities. Here I'm already looking quite good and stable because I have my stacks of Empower, I have no other enemy debuffs like before, and I'm almost at full HP. I'm 95% HP, which is perfect. But in the next moment, while you are thinking that everything is fine, I'm getting hit by a mage for 2 abilities, and basically I lost half my HP, and now I even have a disease stack. On top of this, I have a melee player right next to me, and most likely this mage and this melee player will be coordinated because, like I said, it's a war environment, and here people are way more coordinated than in an OPR game. So from here on, I just forget about everything. My next goal from here is just to survive. The biggest chances of survivability would be to go up the stairs and hide, or go here in the back and hide. However, if you go here on the back and their team decides to push the dead zone, you might end up locked there and you're gonna die eventually. So my choice, and of course I'm not saying it's 100% correct, but at least in this case was correct, is just to go up the stairs. Now I already made some distance and the melee definitely stopped chasing me, but this is something really useful, and I will just go back so I can play it for you. So here I managed to net shot the melee, and definitely he would not be chasing me because he is slowed. But now going onto the platform and casting my meteor shower just so I can get more Empower stacks, I can instantly cast the meteor shower there, but at the same time turn my mouse so I can see if somebody is still chasing me. And as you can see, there is this mage here who is still chasing me. I still have to respect the guy because I cannot do damage on the point while he's looking on me. So let's go back to normal speed now. And I'm trying to even get further away, but unfortunately another mage with a fire staff and blunderbuss is approaching from the other side. So again, I need to respect that, because if I stay here and he net shots me, I don't have anything to get away. I don't have my burnout, and they are mages again with the same setup with burnout, and definitely I will not be able to escape. So my next decision is to drop down. Dropping down into the dead zone is not always the best, but sometimes it can just provide you some kind of safety, at least for a second or two. And as we can see, another guy dropping from the platform is basically chasing me, and we have still this mage applying pressure. So again, my thought process is I need to find another better spot. So from here, again, the best way to kite around is just to go up again the stairs. That's basically it. You just go up and down all the time. So I'm trying to get to the stairs. I'm getting rooted, but not rooted, but blocked. I'm using the net shot and I managed to get up the stairs. Now here, again, a situation is that I have a melee player, I have a healer, and there was one other guy there on the other side. Unfortunately, now it's not really visible, but I believe he's a DPS. Now from here, if I stay on the platform, I would be the only enemy for them, and basically they would see me as a lone person. At the same time, you have those range users on the other side, which might be very well play bow or musket, so they can shoot you really easily. The best way to do it here is just to go again into the crowd on the right side. As you can see, it's completely free as the enemy most likely is regrouping at the moment. So my biggest chances of survival is just getting into the crowd or just moving around here so I can lose track of this melee. And this is exactly what happens. I receive a single heal, I receive a second one, and basically I'm out of trouble. And with that, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. As always, I would love to hear your feedback and of course your opinion on the topic. As Christmas is behind the corner, I want to wish to all of you happy holidays and happy new year. If you like the content, please make sure to join my Discord community and subscribe to my channel here in YouTube. If you also want to be part of my live stream, which will return with full force as from 3rd of January, you can also follow me on Kick. Thank you guys for the amazing 2023, and I wish you all the best in the upcoming 2024.